best. But right now on the bench after looking like she is in some pain.
What's good, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. This is TFD, and we've got another wild one for you today. This one, man, it's heavy. It went down tonight in Boston, and I'm telling you right now, it was chaos. Let's dive right in. Let's go. Let's get it. Look, the Indiana Fever did escape with a win, but don't let that final score fool you. This game was an absolute mess. And I'm talking about the kind of mess that leaves you shaking your head wondering, what are we doing here? First off, Caitlin Clark may have re-aggravated her groin injury, and that alone is heartbreaking. You could see it. The discomfort, the frustration, it was written all over her face. But that's not all. The officiating tonight, absolutely horrendous. I mean, we've seen bad refs before, but this was on a whole new level. It felt personal. Caitlin Clark was targeted all night. No calls, cheap shots, and every time she said something, the whistle was ready to blow for her, not the people hitting her. At one point, Stephanie White was livid on the sideline. Caitlin had to be physically pulled away from the refs just to stop her from catching a tech. That's how bad it got. You could tell they were pushing her on purpose. And Caitlin's brother? He snapped online. He was furious, and honestly, he has every right to be. That's probably a whole other video, but the man was fed up, and so are we. The energy around this game was dark. It felt like they want Caitlin out. Not just out the game, out the league. Hurt. Broken. Done. And bro, it's starting to get real emotional. I ain't even gonna lie, I'm choked up, man. Because you can't watch this girl fight, night in and night out, with the entire league against her, and not feel something. She doesn't deserve this. Not the dirty play. Not the lack of protection. Not the system in Indiana that's clearly failing her. And for what? Because she's too good? Because she's changing the game? Think about this. Y'all, what if this was Kobe? What if this was MJ? You'd be seeing headlines, suspensions, statements from the commissioner. But for Caitlin, crickets. This ain't just basketball anymore. This is an attack on a young woman doing something great. And honestly, it's making it tough to watch, tough to support, tough to even speak calmly about it. Because what we're witnessing right now is wrong. Plain and simple. And it needs to be called out. Alright, y'all, let's just try to get through this one. I'm gonna do my best to hold it together and get through this video. But man, this one hurts. So, let's start with the box score. Natasha Howard was solid. 18 points, 12 rebounds. Big-time double-double performance. Kelsey Mitchell came through with 23 points and 2 assists. Classic KM work. And then you got Caitlin Clark, who, man, she started off rough. Couldn't buy a bucket early on. But as always, she kept fighting. She battled back. Ended up with 14 points, 7 assists, and 8 rebounds. Almost a triple-double, even on a bad night. That's just who she is. But forget the stat sheet for a second, because where the story really picks up is Twitter. Yeah, it's a whole storm out there right now. People are going off. And not in a good way. Because it looks like, once again, Caitlin may have tweaked that injury. Possibly her groin. Again. And let me just say this straight up. I'm pissed off. I'm mad as hell, y'all. I'm gonna try to stay calm, try to stay composed, but it's getting real hard to keep doing this. How much more does she have to take? How many more games does she have to play through pain? Through contact? Through refs turning a blind eye? We're seeing greatness get worn down in real time. And people are out here either pretending not to see it or justifying it. This ain't okay. Not for any player. Not for anyone, especially not Caitlin Clark, who's out here giving her all every single game. She deserves better, man. She really does. Alright, y'all.
Looks like she's in pain.
Man, here we go again. I can barely even talk through this right now. But let's break it down. 'Cause this right here, this is just heartbreaking. 39 seconds into the game. That's it. Not even a full minute. And Caitlin Clark is already grabbing at her leg, wincing in pain. You could see it. She knew something wasn't right. She felt it instantly. And then, she starts crying. She puts the towel over her head. She's not just hurt physically, she's hurt emotionally. Because she knows what this means. And so do we. She knows the timing. Right before the All-Star break? Come on, man. This ain't right. She's bawling. Right there on the bench. Crying. And all I can think about is how preventable this was. Let's be real. This is on the refs. Her brother knows it. He made it clear he's furious. And who can blame him? The hacking, the pushing, the shoving, every single game, and the officials do nothing. All this physical play, all these unnecessary hits, and for what? This is Caitlin Clark we're talking about. She's changed the league. She's brought in fans. She's changed the energy around women's basketball. And this is how she's treated. Bro, I'm sick of this. I'm tired of watching her get beat up with no whistle. I'm tired of holding my tongue. This is out of control. And yeah, excuse my language, but it's bullshit, bro. You can't tell me this is just part of the game. Nah, this is deeper than that. This is targeted. This is negligence. This is just wrong. She didn't deserve this. Not before the break. Not like this. Not ever. Now let's see what Stephanie White said about Caitlin Clark injury.
She got a little hurt towards the end there. Is there any update on her injury?
No update. Just felt a little something in her groin, so we'll get it evaluated and see what happens from there.
Yeah, just kind of to follow up on that, looked like she was kind of grabbing at her right groin area. Is that the concern?
Yeah, if that's the one she was grabbing at, I don't know which one it was, but yeah, I mean, that's it.
Sort of a rough shooting night from Aaliyah tonight, but contributions elsewhere on the floor. What can she do when she's not shooting so well to sort of open up the floor for you guys? What's her her presence like?
Oh, it's huge for us. I mean, she's the anchor on the defensive end of the floor, and she's a facilitator offensively. I thought really early when she was not getting a lot of touches, and we have to do a better job of getting her touches. She was facilitating, she was making the right play. We weren't making a lot of shots when she did make that play, but just trying to keep her to have her stay the course and keep her focused on the things that she could control and know that eventually it was gonna open up for her. And I thought she did a really good job of adjusting and staying locked in and knocking down her free throws when she got those opportunities.
Hey, Coach, if you could just talk about, I don't know if you talked about this in pregame, but it wasn't. For the past 3 games, you guys have looked like the team that people on the outside have expected you guys to be. If you could just talk about what's the difference in play, or what did you guys do or change, or you just explain that the past 3 games of how you guys have played.
Well, it's the first time we've had a full roster, really. I mean, we've had all of our rotation players, and I said it pregame, we have not had a full practice with our entire roster, but they're having to learn in game. Really, since training camp, it's the first time we've had our complete roster. So they're having to learn one another in game. We're having to find strengths and weaknesses, and get rhythm and timing. And I thought Connecticut did a really good job of being disruptive, more disruptive than we've seen the last few games. They got into us. They disrupted our rhythm, timing, and flow. And we had to find different ways to win. And sometimes you have to win ugly, and we were fortunate to be able to do that.
Hey, excuse me. For those of us I don't see you on a night-to-night basis. What is your description of kind of the physical battle that Caitlin particularly faces, maybe within tonight's game or just in general as you've gotten used to coaching, or just what you see she's enduring physically?
Are you trying to get me fined again?
I am not.
Yeah, I mean, there's a level of physicality that they're able to play with against her. I knew it as an opponent, and I see it as her coach. I'm not exactly sure why, but it just is what it is. And we've got to help her learn to adjust and use it against them in certain ways. We've got to find some ways to make it a little bit easier for her. But the level of physicality overall in our league has been at a different level than it's been for a long time. I'm sending it to you.
Kelsey Mitchell's been on fire recently. What do you feel like has been the difference for her this recent stretch? I think over the last, she's been your leading scorer the 7 of the last 8 games.
I don't know if there's anything that's any different. I just think that she's in a rhythm, and we're doing a better job of finding her. she's so active and she moves without the ball, and we have certain actions that we can get her to get downhill. I think the biggest change is she's been on balance. Oftentimes she gets going so fast that she gets off balance, and Breon January has really been talking to her about being on 2 feet. And it's made a difference. It's made a difference in her ability to decision make and her ability to finish. And we're getting her the ball in positions that she can be successful.
I know we just finished this game, but knowing that you have a back-to-back tomorrow, New York, with Caitlin's status up in the air, how do you guys kind of turn the page and just prepare, I guess, for possibility she plays or she doesn't play, and knowing how tough of an opponent they are? Yeah,
I think we just take it one step at a time. We'll get some food and get on the plane and start talking about New York, and she's being evaluated. We'll see where we are with that, and certainly we'll have another evaluation probably in conversation in the morning, see where we are. But this group has played without her. We've got experience in that. We know that we have a tough opponent in New York. We know that it's going to be a challenge no matter what, and we just got to get locked in and ready to compete.
Coach, for people that clearly know, how much, piggyback off that question in your last statement, how much of an advantage does it give you? It's not a shot at the previous coach, but with you're literally right down the road last year. You guys have been back and forth in the battle with New York, so there's really nothing that the Liberty can do or show you anything. They can't do anything differently than you've seen before. How much of an advantage does it give you as a coach going into tomorrow's game?
I don't know. I think knowing how different they play without JJ on the floor, seeing the different ways that they're getting shots and attacking. Fibic has come back and has been outstanding. They're a matchup problem, and whether it's a matchup problem because they're big on the interior when JJ's there, or because they're small and they can spread the floor and shoot it, and be versatile on the defensive end, give you some different looks. So for us, it's about continuing to build and grow. We've got to make great reads. We can't over dribble in situations because they're going to play us different ways, and we've got to be able to read the coverages and execute offensively. But more than anything, we've got to be locked in to our defensive schemes, because they are a veteran team. They have multiple Olympians, and they exploit every mistake that you make. So we've got to have a high attention to detail.
So, while Caitlin Clark's status remains uncertain after feeling something in her groin, the Fever know they may need to quickly pivot heading into a tough back-to-back against New York. Despite the adversity, Coach emphasized the value of finally having a full roster, even if the chemistry is still a work in progress. From Aaliyah Boston's resilience and leadership to Kelsey Mitchell's offensive rhythm and improved balance, this team is evolving and learning to win in different ways, even when it's not pretty. The physicality Clark faces, the strategic adjustments needed, and the upcoming challenge against a versatile Liberty squad all underscore how critical focus, adaptability, and execution will be moving forward.